Somebody's going to roll in. Hello, silly little guy. We've got a whole bunch of breaking news. It's a big news day. Hello, Jack. When's the martial law? Thank God we made it through. No Insurrection Act of 1807. However, the report was filed, and for some reason the White House didn't come out and tell us what the report said. And there's only two things the report can say. We recommend the Insurrection Act, or we don't recommend the Insurrection Act. We have no idea what it said, but we made it. We made it this day. We made it. We got a bunch of breaking news to cover. The fucking Pope is dead. J.D. Vance killed the Pope. I don't know what to tell you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. I thought this was so fucking funny. I gotta find you this. Why do I have the feeling I'm gonna have to mute a lot of people today? I mean, you don't have to mute people for telling me that I was wrong. I don't give a shit. I am glad, and I said this. How many times did I fucking say this, guys? I want to be wrong. How many times did I fucking say that? Wasn't recommended due to low border crossings. I don't think, no, that's the thing, Tabor. If you tell me where you saw that, because I can't find anything about the report. The report was due yesterday, but they haven't given the public any access. I can't find it, but I saw a fucking meme of J.D. Vance wearing Ezio Auditore's clothes leaving the Vatican, and I fucking pissed my pants laughing. Why can't I fucking find it? Let me try Google, I guess. My fucking wrist hurts. Came for the dirt. No, we're gonna check the dirt stock. Don't worry. Let me see if I can find this shit. Well, I saw this. This I thought was so fucking funny. Just killed the Pope, Vance. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then there was another one. J.D. Vance. Assassin's Creed. No, I don't think they have it. J.D. Vance, Ezio Auditore. Bro, there was one with him wearing the fucking robe walking out of the Vatican, and it was so fucking funny. Oh, it was so fucking funny. All right, before we start with the breaking news, we got to do the huge. How's the dirt stock? No chart available. What do you mean no chart available? What happened? What happened to dirt? Fellas, what happened to dirt? Yo, is dirt no longer tradable? Can we no longer trade dirt on the market? Fellas, did the dirt market crash? Bro, they took our dirt. Bro, they took our dirt. Oh, Jesus Christ. What happened to the dirt market? Bro, all right, well, let's see what the 5-day dirt market is. Hey! Dirt is on the up. Dirt is on the up, at least in the 5-day, but for some reason, we can't trade it on the day. Oh, that's unbelievable. All right, well, now that we know that the dirt stock is doing well, let's see how the U.S. economy is doing. Fuck. Shit. This is worse than martial law. Definitely. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. Let's see the S&P. Shit. Let's see the NASDAQ. Fuck. Thanks, Donald. God damn it. Dude, listen, I hate Trump just as much as the next guy, but, you know, fucking, could you Could you not crash the U.S. economy within 100 days of being the president of the United States? I feel like you don't have to hate Donald Trump to be like, hey, buddy, do me a favor. Don't crash the U.S. economy within the first 100 days. Please. I don't know. I can't believe it. I think you hate Trump more than the next guy. Oh, yeah, I could tell you firsthand. Probably my attorney could tell you, too. I'm a certified Trump hater. Certified Trump hater. All right, so the stock market's crashing. J.D. Vance killed the Pope. Pete Hegseth is getting kicked out of being the defense secretary because he leaked the fucking chats on Signal again, but this time to his wife and brother. In the middle of the night at 1 in the fucking morning, the Supreme Court or like a whole bunch of district judges, they all came together and were like, yo, with alleged undocumented immigrants on buses ready to go to planes, these courts came out and ruled at 1 in the morning, like, you can't fucking do that without giving them due process. You have to give them due process. It's not saying that you can't deport undocumented immigrants. It's that you have to prove that these people are undocumented immigrants before you fucking do that. Just chaos. Just fucking crazy. Kristi Noem got robbed. It feels like the Pope may have been the glue holding planet Earth together. I mean, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Question, why have we not seen any of the women deported on television? It's a two-pronged reason. So the Trump administration tried to deport 11 women to the El Salvadorian camp along with the 200 Venezuelan migrants. And when they got off the plane, El Salvadorian leadership, like Nayib Bukele, he called the Trump administration, was like, we're not taking women. You cannot put women in these facilities. And the reason is those facilities are extermination camps, and they know what will happen to women in those facilities, right? It's like, you know what it is? It's like the last shred of humanity left in Nayib Bukele is that. But the Trump administration has been trying to do it, but they also know that the deportation of women and children visually looks really bad. And it's really hard for even pro-deportate, like MAGA voters, it's hard for them to see that and then still support it. So the Trump regime does what they do to suppress that. And this isn't new to America. Like, you ever looked up pictures of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and it's just rubble of buildings? That's not what it looked like. Like, I know that you might have been taught to believe that when the bombs went off, it was so hot that it incinerated these people and turned them to ash. But no, these cities were riddled with bodies. Riddled. And there was like a 48-hour cleanup operation before the pictures were taken and sent back. And there was even a documentary made by the Japanese showing all the bodies. And the American government did everything that they could to scrub that. So, this is not new to America, is to make sure that you don't see what they don't want you to see. Oh, yeah, no, J.D. Vance killed the Pope. J.D. Vance was one of the last leaders to meet with Pope Francis. One of Pope Francis's final encounters before his death was U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who visited the Vatican over the weekend. The meeting took place on Easter Sunday. Vance, a Catholic convert, entered the room and reached down for the Pope's hand. "Hello," the Vice President said. "So good to see you." Francis was sitting in a wheelchair, and his words were inaudible in a video released by the Vatican. "I know you've not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health." Better health? Brother, he died right after this meeting. What the fuck? Better health? Brother, not only did he die after this meeting, but his last acts as the Pope were to tell you that you're a shit Christian. Brother, his last acts as a pope, as a man, was to tell you that you're a shit Catholic and then die. Do you understand how poignant that must be to J.D. Vance? I understand JD's like a reptile, and it's probably hard for him to feel things. But you can't possibly not feel something when, if JD's truly devout, truly a believer, and he meets the Pope, who he believes is chosen by God, and the Pope tells you that you're a shit Christian, and then dies, brother, I would have an existential fucking crisis. I would have an existential crisis, my dudes. Anyway, a priest serving as a translator spoke for the Pope. "These are for your children," the priest said as someone presented Vance with chocolate eggs. Next came a tray of additional gifts, including rosaries and a Vatican tie. "Thank you," Vance said as he held the dark tie. "So beautiful." They posed for a photo, Vance standing to the Pope's right before bidding him farewell. "I pray for you every day. God bless you." Vance's visit was not without political sensitivities, and he met with Cardinal Pietro Parolin on Saturday for what the Vatican described as an exchange of opinions. The Catholic Church, under Francis's leadership, has championed the rights of migrants, while Vance and President Donald Trump have advocated for crackdowns. Vance's office said the vice president and the cardinal, quote, discussed their shared religious faith, Catholicism in the United States, the plight of persecuted Christian communities around the world, and President Trump's commitment to restoring world peace. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters that she had spoken to members of Vance's team on Monday morning after Francis's death. Quote, "They expressed how excited and grateful they were for the opportunity to have met with the Pope just yesterday," she said. Leavitt added that Francis, quote, touched millions of lives throughout his tenure as the head of the Catholic Church, and so it's a solemn day for Catholics around the world, and we are praying for all those who loved the Pope and believed in him. Trump issued a statement on Truth Social. "Rest in peace, Pope Francis. May God bless him and all who loved him." At the White House Easter egg roll on Monday, Trump said he signed an executive order for U.S. flags to fly at half-mast in the Pope's honor. "He was a good man," the president told reporters. "He loved the world, and it's an honor to do that." Vance, who continued on to India after Italy, posted additional thoughts on social media. "I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was absolutely very ill. Requiescat in pace." No shot. No shot. Vance shared a link to remarks that Francis gave him on March 27, 2020, as COVID-19 was spreading around the globe. "I'll always remember him for the bellow homily he gave in the very early days of COVID," Vance wrote. "It was really quite beautiful." Francis had spoken from St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. "Thick darkness has gathered over our squares, our streets, and our cities. It has taken over our lives, filling everything with a deafening silence and a distressing void." He encouraged people to rely on their faith to help them endure. "Because with God, life never dies." Chris Merrigan. That was a pretty good, that was actually a pretty good article. Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby, huh? I know, there's a shortage of dirt. Trump is stealing our dirt. Yo, breaking news! The Trump regime is stealing your dirt. Go check your backyard. You may have a couple of square inches missing. J.D. Vance was caught moving around suburb neighborhoods with a butter knife, carving out small plots of dirt, feeding it back to the dirt man. Trisha Paytas is also pregnant again. I think, isn't that, like, because of the scientific method, isn't that proof that her children are popes reincarnated? Isn't that, like, based off the scientific method, we've done it twice now. Doesn't that mean that she's quite literally Mother Mary? By process of elimination. Because if y equals mx plus b, that means Trisha Paytas is Mother Mary. So, the Pope is dead. R.I.P. Et nomine Padre et Filii et Spiritus Sancto. Dio dame la serenità di accettare il coso che non posso cambiare, il coraggio di cambiare il posto che posso e la saggezza di capire nella differenza. Requiescat in pace. There he goes. Now he's gone. Now he has transcended. The Pope is gone. Who will be the new Pope? Probably fucking Conor McGregor. I know dirt stock is down. We're fucked. Now, we're going to pull up this article because this is some breaking news that I want to read about and then make a video about. Venezuelan migrants were set for deportation without judicial review, lawyers tells U.S. Supreme Court. So I'm not sure if you guys know this. Yesterday at around like 1 in the morning, the Supreme Court like moved into fucking gear. The 7-2 shoot down on Trump trying to deport a whole bunch of alleged Venezuelan migrants. And the reason why I say alleged is because they didn't get a court date. There's no due process. I just made a TikTok about this. This is very basic shit. Gemini Starfielder just became a loyalist. Thank you very much, Gemini. Let's get some W Geminis. This is very basic shit, but you are an undocumented immigrant. You watching me right now. Now, I know some of you are going, no, I'm not. Prove it. Now, I know some of you are going, well, I have papers. Okay, well, where will you prove that those papers are real? Like, where do you prove this? Where do you prove it? In a court of law. You prove this in a court of law. This is the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. All persons within the United States are entitled to due process under the law. Why is that important? Because of what I just said. If you are accused of a crime, any crime, it doesn't matter what crime, it could be the most heinous crime that you could possibly think of, you still have to go to court, even if you're caught red-handed. You know, like with the fucking axe in the head. Oh. You know, and even if you don't defend yourself, you say, yeah, I plead guilty, Your Honor. You still have to go to court. This is not debatable. This is not questionable. This is an irrefutable fact. It is a fundamental part of the American democracy that we live in. It's fundamental. Do we understand this? Are we all in agreement here? Do we get that? I feel like that ain't too complicated. See? So what this is about is this is in Texas, okay? In a specific part of Texas, there were fucking hundreds of alleged Venezuelan migrants who were in the buses. The fucking fumes were pouring out. The planes were fueled up and ready, waiting to go. Hundreds of these people were about to be fucking deported, and in the middle of the night, at 1 in the order, the judges ordered the Trump regime to turn them around, and by the grace of fucking God, maybe because the Pope made a deal with Jesus as soon as he hit the pearly gates, was like, I need you to save the undocumented Venezuelan migrants. Like, something must have happened, and they were at least forced to not deport them. We don't know if they're going to get due process, but they were at least forced to not deport them. Now, guys, understand, these are just the ones that we know of. This is just the ones that we know of. This is the deportation regime. We have no fucking idea how many people have been deported without due process. That's the problem. Oh, jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. I want to see some of Trump's response to this. Holy shit. I wonder if Trump has tweeted something out, responded. Nothing? Nothing. All right. Nothing. What about Elon? Elon's been slowly phasing away a little bit. I've noticed that. Have you guys noticed that? That, like, he can't really handle the bullying, so he's been, like, kind of toning it down in terms of politics. Have you guys noticed that? Kind of toning it down. Just a little bit. Cool it, Denki. Cool it, Denki. Cool it, Denki. Put him in the corner for 1 minute. Put him in the corner for 1 minute. Put him in the corner for 1 minute.
Well, I'm trans and I don't want to die. Aaron Dumb.
What the fuck is Aaron Dumb? Oh, that's somebody's name. My bad. It's okay, Denki. It's okay. You just gotta cool it. I understand the sentiment. I get it. But you gotta be careful. Take it from me. Take it from me. Take it from me. Anyway. Okay, so. Don't read me in that voice, girl. Ew. I'm mentally ill, and the voices are telling. Oh, Jesus Christ, Vegito. All right. Just ban Vegito. Just ban him. That's insane. Dude, there's not going to be any advocation for violence in my chat, brother. Ugh. I'll advocate for it. You gotta understand, I'll be held responsible. So, not gonna happen here. Do it somewhere else. Just don't do it here. For me. Okay. So, I want to find out more about this. All right, I'm going to make a video out of this. Chat. Lock in. You ready to lock in? Are you ready to lock the fuck in?
Hey, Peter. We're making a couple of steaks. Why don't you come on over?
And, frankly, I was born locked in. Welcome to the Frankly show. I'm your host, President Donald Trump. I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. Hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti, your perfect and humble leader. And it looks like we've got some problems here. It looks like the Supreme Court and other district judges have shot down the Trump regime from deporting fucking hundreds of alleged Venezuelan migrants because they didn't get due process. We're going to cover that. Also, the Pope is dead. Looks like J.D. Vance may be a fucking member of the Auditory family, if you know what I'm saying. Requiescat in pace. Laird joke there. Sorry about that. But yeah, long story short, J.D. Vance met with the Pope. The Pope was like, I don't like you. And then was like, I'm leaving. And then went to go see the Lord. R.I.P. Pope Francis. Et nome di Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancto. Requiescat in pace. All that jazz. Oh, and in other news, we made it, ladies and gentlemen. It is April 21st. Donald Trump did not invoke the Insurrection Act. However, unfortunately, the report that we've been talking about for fucking months, the report that Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem were supposed to give to Donald Trump, it was due yesterday. And yet, the White House has given us no fucking update on whether or not they told him that he should invoke the Insurrection Act. Maybe he'll do it in 2 days. Maybe he'll do it in fucking 2 months. We don't know. I wish, and I hope that you agree, that the fucking White House would come out and say, the report that was filed on Easter Sunday said we are not recommending that Donald Trump invokes the Insurrection Act of 1807. But they haven't done that, so now we're living in a fucking state of limbo, and it's absolutely horrifying. What else is there? Pete Hegseth, it looks like he's going to be kicked out as Secretary of Defense because that Signal group chat, he actually did it twice, and we're discovering that he leaked those same war plans to his fucking another group chat on Signal with his wife and his brother-in-law, or brother, or just... We're talking about fucking top secret information being shared to his wife. Just stupid shit. And I understand all you wives out there who are like, hey, if my husband had that job, he'd be telling me. And you know what? You're probably right. And that's why your husband don't got that job. Get fucked. So let's dive right in. Before we do, let me remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. Plus, we film these videos live. This is why the chat is about to pop up now. And now! Now! Okay, the chat's not popping up, but we film these videos live, and if you want to be here when we film them live, you can be part of the chat. All you got to do is hit that notification bell. If you want to help the channel financially, because this is real independent media, I have no funding. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a foreign government, and somebody did comment. They were like, hey, you have a Ground News affiliate link in the description. That's an affiliate link. I've never done an ad read for them. You just get 40% off if you use it. I use Ground News. It's a service that I think is very good. I'm not paid to say that, but I have an affiliate link because they like my content. So essentially, if you do want to help the channel financially, handful of ways you could do it. You could buy Valenti Videos merch down below. You could use a 40% off discount for the Ground News Vantage subscription down below. You can become a patron on Patreon, get access to the Patreon-only content, which we're cranking up. And you can become a member here on YouTube, get early access to the videos and all that jazz. But without further ado, let's just fucking watch this shit already. Or, sorry, not watch it, read it. Oh, God, we're so corrupted. Venezuela, so this is Reuters, by the way, one of the most credible news organizations on the planet. If you think that this is liberal media, then there's nothing I can ever read. Venezuelan migrants were set for deportation without judicial review, lawyers tell the U.S. Supreme Court. This is as of today. Today is April 21st, 2025. This was written at 2:51 p.m. It is currently 5:13 p.m. Eastern Standard. So, just so you know, Donald Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 in order to start rounding up all of these migrants without due process, and the Supreme Court has already shut him down once with, like, the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We covered that in one of our latest videos. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland father of four, a legal U.S. resident, green card carrying member, permanent legal resident of the United States, who came here from El Salvador, not an undocumented immigrant, not a gang member, not a terrorist, none of these things that they keep on labeling him. He was erroneously sent to the El Salvadorian extermination camp called CCOT, right? And And erroneous isn't even like my opinion. The Trump administration themselves admitted he was not supposed to be sent there. That was a mistake, right? So then his own senator, Chris Van Hollen from Maryland, went all the way over there and met with him to get proof of life, because it went over a month and a half without any proof of life. And his wife and other leftist content creators such as myself started to ring the fucking alarm bell saying this guy's dead, right? Because you don't provide proof of life after you erroneously fucking deport somebody to a famous extermination camp. Get the fuck out of my face. Of course I'm going to assume he's fucking dead, and I'm going to use my fucking platform to ring those goddamn bells and get the rest of the fucking world ready for it. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. Sukiyama il cazzo. Regardless. So we already know, so the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump regime brings this guy back. 9-0, unanimous. Even fucking Brett Kavanaugh. I love beer. I've always liked beer. He fucking voted for it. All of them. 9-0 said you got to bring him back. And what did the Trump administration do? They went, said, go fuck yourself. We're not doing it. So we are in a major constitutional crisis right now. And we're seeing the next phase of it with these Venezuelan migrants being held in Texas. Okay? Let's read it.
Washington, April 21st. President Donald Trump's administration was prepared to carry out deportations of dozens of Venezuelan migrants detained in Texas under a 1798 law historically used only during wartime, without judicial review and contrary to U.S. Supreme Court's prior orders, lawyers told the justices Monday. American Civil Liberty Union's attorneys representing the migrants urged the Supreme Court in a written filing to maintain its block on the deportations to a prison in El Salvador. The ACLU filing said that the administration officials had not provided the migrants with the required notice or opportunity to contest the removals before many were loaded on buses headed to the airport.
So do you see what that means? It means, listen, these migrants were not given a chance to contest the charges. That's the thing, is that we don't even know if these were fucking migrants, because they weren't given a chance to contest any of the removals. They could be U.S. citizens who were accidentally rounded up, and they already put them on. And also, you guys remember the other day when Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, fucking showed up to the Oval Office, and they were like, are you going to bring home Kilmer? He goes, oh, what am I supposed to do? I can't smuggle him back in. I can't do that. And Trump is like, it's not up to me. It's up to him. And soon, there's a reason why they're doing it so fast. Get these people on the buses, on the planes, and out of the nation. And it's because as soon as they're gone, the Trump regime can go, well, we have no jurisdiction in whatever fucking nation we sent them back to, so we can't bring them back. Even if they are U.S. citizens, our hands are tied. Our hands are tied. Our hands are tied. That's what you're witnessing right now. The slippery slope of fascism, we're not headed down it. We went down it. We're at the bottom. We're at the bottom. We made it. Welcome. Welcome.
The filing is the latest development in a high-profile legal battle involving the Republican president's immigration crackdown that has raised questions about his administration's willingness to comply with the limits set by the top U.S. judicial body,
the fucking Supreme Court. Whatever due process may require in this context, it does not allow removing a person to a possible life sentence without a trial in a prison known for torture and other abuse, a mere 24 hours after providing an English-only notice form not provided to any attorney that gives no information about the person's right to seek judicial review, much less the process or timeline for doing so, the ACLU's filing stated. So not only were these people not given an attorney or any sort of lawyer, the fucking notice that they were given that said you have 24 hours to fight this in court it was English. It was in English. Now, I understand what you're going to say. Like, this is America. We speak English here. 50% of this nation speaks Spanish. ChatGPT exists. These fucking people, you're accusing them of being Venezuelan migrants. I'm assuming you know they don't fucking speak English, many of them. This is intentional. All of this is intentional. Same thing with 24 hours. 24 hours? Are you fucking serious? Holy shit. The U.S. government has accused the migrants of being members of Tren de Aragua, a criminal gang originating in Venezuelan prisons that the Trump administration has designated as a foreign terrorist group. Trump has invoked the 1798 Alien Enemies Act in a bid to swiftly deport them. So guys, I hope you're paying attention and you are seeing the pieces fall in place. Tren de Aragua, right, a criminal gang originating in Venezuelan prison. Trump administration designates them as a foreign terrorist group. Now, whether you agree with that or not doesn't matter. The reason why the Trump administration labeled them as a foreign terrorist group instead of like just a Venezuelan gang, right? It's not like the Bloods and the Crips are considered fucking terrorist groups, but these ones are. Reason being is because if they were labeled as a terrorist organization, Trump could round them all up without due process by using the 1798 Alien Enemies Act. And now you're watching the Supreme Court try and rein him back in and say, you can no longer be using the Alien Enemies Act because it doesn't fucking fit. This is supposed to be for actual enemies of the state, people who are, foreign military members here to infiltrate, not fucking undocumented immigrants. They require due process. Oh, Jesus. And also, just so you understand something, Ed, there is no crime that you can commit. There is absolutely no crime that you could possibly be accused of where you wouldn't be entitled to due process. It's in the Fifth Amendment. All persons within the United States are entitled to due process of the law. Reason being is because you are an undocumented immigrant. You watching this right now. And I know what you're saying. You're going, I'm not an undocumented immigrant. Well, prove it. How are you going to prove it? Oh, you have papers? Okay, well, where are you going to prove that those papers are real? In a court of law, brother. In a court of law. If undocumented immigrants aren't entitled to due process, that means you are not entitled to due process. Because all it takes is to label you as a fucking undocumented immigrant. Same thing with anybody who is an enemy of the state. Anybody who has anti-American values. Any. If anybody doesn't have the right to due process, then nobody has the right to due process. This is a very, very simple thing to understand. Anyway.
The law authorizes the president to deport, detain, or place restrictions on individuals whose primary allegiance is to a foreign power and who might pose a national security risk in wartime. And again, guys, this Alien Enemies Act, the only time it's ever been enacted is during wartime because it's supposed to be for like spies and infiltrators, right? This is the first time in American history we have ever given the president of the United States wartime powers during peace. We are not in a fucking war. And the reason why they're doing this is because the Trump regime has greased up his fucking cult followers into believing that this is an invasion. And this is the same reason why he's still probably going to invoke the Insurrection Act. So, the 9-member Supreme Court early on Saturday temporarily barred the administration from deporting the migrants, acting swiftly in a case in which the lawyers for the migrants had warned of imminent removals. 2 conservative justices, Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas, publicly dissented from that decision. The ACLU lawyers filed urgent requests on Friday in multiple courts, including the Supreme Court, after reporting that migrants held at Bluebonnet Immigration Detention Facility were in imminent risk of removal. So these lawyers, literally, they were like, guys, they're in the buses. And they were. Imminent risk, they were in the buses. The planes were ready to go. They were ready to fucking ship these people out with no due process. The Supreme Court on April 7th placed limitations on how deportations under the Alien Enemies Act may occur, even as the legality of that law's use for this purpose is being contested. The justices required that detainees receive notice, quote, within a reasonable time and in such a manner to challenge the legality of their removal. Now, that's what you see. They needed to get reasonable time and in such a manner. And if you see up here, we were talking about the fact that they only got 24 hours. That's their reasonable time, is you get 24 hours to get a lawyer. We're not even going to give you the fucking paper in Spanish. You're going to have to find somebody to translate it for you. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely fucking insane. This nation is descending into fucking madness. It's descending into madness. Now, here, we're going to move down to the bottom of this for the bitter end here.
transferring, quote, large numbers of individuals it intends to remove under the Alien Enemies Act between judicial districts and providing English-only AEA notices less than 24 hours before removal and without any explanation as to how the individual may seek judicial review cannot by any stretch be said to comply with this court's order. That notice must be sufficient to permit individuals actually to seek habeas review. And the thing is, nowadays we got people saying no habeas corpus for illegal immigrants, no due process for illegal immigrants. People are advocating to literally get rid of their own fucking rights. The lawyers also suggested the court take up and hear arguments in the case to resolve whether the AEA can be invoked outside of wartime against a criminal organization and for only the fourth time in U.S. history. Reporting by Andrew Chung in Washington. It's every day there's a new liberty taken, a new right stripped, a new attack on our freedoms every single day. And unfortunately, there's millions of people who cheer for this. People cheer for this. Luigi, stop it. Luigi, do hairas likiri. Stop it. Basta. Anyway, that's all I got for you for this video, man. If you're watching this live, you stay. If you're watching this recorded on YouTube, click that video that's popping up right there. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll catch you in the next one, all right? Is it over there? I think the video's over there. Shit. Oh, fucking A, man. Fucking A, man. Jesus. Let's get that uploaded. We're going to lose some frames while I upload this video. Don't mind me while I'm losing frames. Excuse me. What's my favorite faction in Fallout? I haven't played enough Fallout to be able to name the factions, unfortunately. Maybe the, I like the NCR. Luigi, stop it. Fucking dog. Luigi, come here. Luigi. Fucking dog. Give me 1 second. What are you doing? Why are you barking? Hello, everybody. ¿Cómo estáis? ¿Cómo estáis, friends? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Valenti Videos. I'm your host, Luigi Valenti, and today we are going to be rating grass. And I like this grass. This grass is good. That grass is good. That grass is good. That grass is good. Beans? Why can't we see your eyes, dude? Luigi. Okay. So, what do we want for this? We're going to want Supreme Court versus Trump. Okay, so we're going to get Trump yelling. Was everybody talking about dirt? Sometimes we check the dirt stock just to see how dirt is on the fucking market. I keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man in case he comes to town. I keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man so he won't take me down to his lair deep under the mountain underground. Oh, that's where he keeps his dirt. Does that answer your question? Hegseth is a global security risk. Indeed, he is. That's why he's probably going to get fired any day now. Hello, Jack. Let's get a picture of Boseberg. Yes. I've been here, Chris. You just ignore my comments. Jack, I pay you to ignore your comments. Jackie boy, Jackie boy. Jackie Jack, Jackie boy. Oh, Jack is a huge crush on me. Oh yeah, who def. Let's get these uploaded. And then let's make a thumbnail, folks. How about that, huh? That sound fun? Making a thumbie? Here's our background. Now, wait, which one is the good guy and the bad guy in terms of like antagonist and protagonist? That's a bad Trump picture. Let's get a better one. Which one is like the guy who's like trying to stop the bad guy? Trump is the antagonist. Okay. I think I have a better Trump here. I think that's a better Trump. At least for this situation. Hey, Cuck, how is the martial law? Do you actually think that's how you spell Marshall? Are you dead ass? Are you dead ass? Who the fuck is Marshall? Who the fuck is Marshall?
Marshall!
Marshall Mathers? Are we talking about Eminem right now? Are you fucking dead ass? You spell it right and then I'll address your question, bitch boy. Curious. Let's see. I dig it. You dig it? Let me get rid of me. You dig it? You dig it? You guys like that one? I like that one a lot. I think this is a good one. I'm getting good at this shit. I'm doing a... Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Unfortunately, goes hard as fuck. But that's crazy. So we're going to check it out, that King TV. Trump backed up Hegseth after the second leak, said, quote, Pete's doing a great job. Everyone's happy with him. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Listen, I hate Pete Hegseth. I hate Trump. I hate what they're doing in Yemen. But that's unfortunately a bar. That is unfortunately a fucking bar. Okay? Bars are bars. And that's a bar. All right, let's get that uploaded. Thumbnail. Thumbnail, thumbnail, thumbnail. All right, we need a title for this. We need a title for this, which is this is episode 90. What is it? Episode 91, I think. Episode 91. Judge. Hold on. How about... Okay. Judges block Trump's unconstitutional Judges attempt to block Trump's violation of due process. Last second save. Judges attempt to block Trump's violation of due process. Last second save. I don't know if I like that. How about the U.S. judicial system is collapsing in front of our very eyes. That'll hook you in. We'll call it the justice system instead. The U.S. justice system is collapsing in front of our very eyes. Judges have ordered Trump to stop illegal use. Okay. Copy. Paste. Add an end screen. Save. Published. We're up. We're good. There we go. All right. Oh. Are you talking about just killed the Popa Vance, JD? Just killed the Popa? Orange is the name of the tree, not the fruit. Fruit of the orange tree, and just start saying orange. Huh. Who knew? Look at this. White House is looking to replace Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. Yeah, well, this is what happens when you get a fucking alcoholic Fox News host as a Secretary of Defense, dude. What the fuck?
The White House has begun the process for looking for a new leader in the Pentagon to replace Pete Hegseth, according to a U.S. official who was not authorized to speak publicly. This comes as Hegseth is again mired in controversy after sharing military operational details in a group chat.
Oh my God. The defense secretary is under fire after revelations that he shared classified information in a group chat with his wife, brother, and lawyer. What the fuck? Brother, that's treason. That's unironically treason. That's treason. That's dead ass treason. Let me get the definition of treason. Here we go. The crime of betraying one's country. Everything after it doesn't fucking matter. You don't need that. That's treason. Took an oath. Took an oath to follow national security protocol, CENTCOM protocol. Violated that oath. He's the highest member of the military. The only person above him is the President of the United States. All right, we're making a video. Making another video. You guys know that alcoholic in the White House? No, not that one. The other one. Nope, not that one. Nope. 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 Yes, this one. Pete Hegseth, the alcoholic who said during his hearing that he would stop drinking if he got the position, and then he got the position, and the first thing he did was pull out a glass of whiskey. Well, this alcoholic, he, you remember when he leaked all of those secret war plans to a fucking chief editor at The Atlantic? Yeah, it turns out he did it again. Or actually, at the same time that he was doing it, he had a second group chat with his wife, brother, and lawyer. And he was using it on his personal smartphone, detailing minute-by-minute classified information about the Houthi attacks on Yemen. So, this doesn't surprise me. This is what happens when you fucking hire an alcoholic Fox News host to be the highest member of the military, second only to the President of the United States. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So we're going to read a little bit of this. Exclusive. The White House is looking to replace Pete Hegseth as defense secretary. And you know what's interesting about this is all happening. I mean, this is updated today, but this is all happening yesterday. The same day that Pete Hegseth had to file a report to Donald Trump whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. We don't even know what was in that report. We're not privy to that information. This motherfucker, the alcoholic in chief, he could have said, yeah, you should do it. Or he could have said, no, you shouldn't do it. We have no fucking idea, but we do know that the report was filed. Regardless, let's read some of this. The White House has begun the process of looking for a new leader at the Pentagon to replace Pete Hegseth, according to a U.S. official who was not authorized to speak publicly. This comes as Hegseth is again mired in controversy after sharing military operational details in a group chat. The defense secretary is under fire after revelations that he shared classified information in a group chat with his wife, brother, and lawyer, according to the official. The craziest part about this is a fucking lawyer. Brother, we're talking about probably like a federal attorney if you were Pete Hegseth's, if you were the defense secretary's lawyer. Brother, if I was you leave that group chat immediately. What the fuck are you doing? You went to grad school, you went to law school, you passed the fucking bar, you probably had other clients before this. What are you doing? Knowingly violating the law, practically committing fucking treason at this point. Jesus Christ. The source said Hegseth used the Signal messaging app on his personal smartphone, detailing minute-by-minute classified information about airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. It happened at about the same time in March that Hegseth shared similar details with top White House officials in a different Signal group that accidentally included a journalist. That leak, hours before airstrikes hit, could have endangered U.S. pilots if that information about the timing of strikes was intercepted by U.S. adversaries. Already, the Houthis have twice shot down American Predator drones? How the fuck are they shooting down Predator drones? Those things are like... Brother, I thought Predator drones are like in the fucking clouds. How the fuck do you do... What was it, a lucky shot with an RPG? We're talking about the Houthis. That makes no fucking sense to me. That makes no fucking sense to me. Based. Sorry. What? White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied that there's an effort to replace Hegseth, posting on X that President Trump stands strongly behind him, speaking to reporters at the White House. Trump backed Hegseth and said concerns over Signalgate chats are a waste of time. He's doing a great job. Ask the Houthis how he's doing, Trump said. Holy shit. Listen, here's the thing. I hate Trump more than, as much as the next guy, probably more than the next guy. But a bar's a bar, and unfortunately, that's a fucking bar. He's doing a great job. What? The only thing that would have made this better is if he said, why don't you? Why don't you ask the Houthis how he's doing? After, like, we know how the Houthis are doing. You want to know why I know how the Houthis are doing? Because Pete Hegseth fucking leaked minute-by-minute plans. I know exactly how the Houthis are doing because we know what fucking strikes hit them, exactly when they were hit, where they were hit, how many fucking jets were sent. Don't worry, we know exactly where they were. Oh, Jesus. Jack, if you're here, not you, Jack, Jack Wolf, my mod, you can put somebody in the corner for 5 minutes if they're, like, being really fucking annoying. Hegseth had denied wrongdoing at a White House Easter event earlier Monday. This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees and they try to slash and burn people, ruin their reputation. It's not gonna work with me, he said. Hegseth was likely referring to 4 senior advisors who left the Pentagon abruptly last week. Former Defense Department spokesperson John Uliat resigned and then published an opinion piece calling the past month at the Pentagon a full-blown meltdown of infighting that is hurting President Trump. 3 other Pentagon advisors, Dan Caldwell, Colin Carroll, and Darren Selnick, were escorted out of the Pentagon and accused of leaking information to the press. The trio then put out a joint statement on X calling their dismissal unconscionable and saying that they have not even been told what they stand accused of leaking. All 3 of us served our country honorably in uniform. For 2 of us, this included deployments to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and, based on our collective service, we understand the importance of information security and worked every day to protect it, they wrote. So now Pete Hegseth is just blaming random fucking people, like people who fought for our nation, and just throwing them out because he doesn't want to take the blame himself. Caldwell and Selnick are longtime associates of Hegseth and worked with him at Concerned Veterans for America, a right-leaning policy group. New Hampshire Senator Jean Shaheen, what a name. New Hampshire Senator Jean Shaheen, a Democrat on the Armed Services Committee, said in a statement that Hegseth should accept responsibility, quote, "But we must not forget that ultimate responsibility here lies with President Trump for selecting a former weekend TV host without any experience successfully leading a large and complex organization to run our government's biggest department and make life and death decisions for our military and country," she said. All right. Catherine Marr, CEO of NPR. So there you have it right there. I mean, listen, guys, the Trump regime doesn't pick people who are qualified, okay? DEI hires. I guess you could call him a fucking DUI hire. But the Trump regime selects people who are yes men, sycophants, and loyalists, right? And again, do not expect this to actually happen. Why are looking to replace Pete Hegseth? Do not expect this to happen. Do not expect any sort of punishment to be put in Pete Hegseth's world, because Pete Hegseth will do anything and everything Donald Trump tells him to do. And as long as he does that, he'll keep his job. And it's the same thing with RFK, the same thing with Kristi Noem. These people, they crave power. And now that they have it, they will not let go of it. And if that means bending the knee and kissing the ring, they will. And that's exactly what you're fucking seeing. And Trump is at bat for Pete Hegseth because Pete Hegseth is at bat for him. They protect each other. But listen, if you're watching this live, you stay. We're going to keep on going. If you're watching this pre-recorded, thank you for tuning into the Valenti VOD. I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And watch that video on screen over there. I promise you it's a fucking banger. I'll catch you in the next one. That one was short and sweet. You pocket blocked the other Jack? What does pocket blocked mean? I missed a video, LeMayo. No worries. Let's get that uploaded and let's get a thumbnail made. So we are now on episode 92. Yeah, I'm just thinking. See, the White House posted against Democrats voting for Abrego. Where did they post that? White House on what? Instagram, Twitter? Where? Let me know and I'll find it. The .gov? WhiteHouse.gov about what? Hold on. I mean, I'm on the website. What do you... Oh, you're right. Democrats continue apology tour for deported illegal immigrant gang member. The past week has shown Americans everything they need to know about Democrats' priorities. Today, 4 more Democrats, Representative Robert Garcia of California, Representative Maxwell Frost of Florida, Representative Yasamin Ansari of Arizona, and Representative Maxine Dexter of Oregon are in El Salvador, picking up their party's mantle of prioritizing a deported illegal immigrant MS-13 gang member over the Americans they represent. Why hasn't Representative Dexter spoken about these illegal immigrants putting her region at risk? Alvaro Flores Barbosa, a 24-year-old citizen of Venezuela, escaped from an ICE processing facility before he was arrested in Portland, Oregon. He has convictions for assault, reckless driving, and a felony use of a weapon. Juan Jose Sebastian, a 26-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in West Palm Beach, Florida. This is the craziest shit I've ever fucking seen, bro. Hey, why ban me? Did I say something bad about the Supreme Leader? No, Jack, I think I was filming a video and you were spamming messages and they pop up in the video. So we just put you in the corner. You didn't get banned. I think you got muted. But maybe you were accidentally banned. I asked for you to be muted. Don't worry about it. You're back now, so what do you got to cry and bitch about? You're here every single day hate commenting and I haven't banned you yet. That's a lot of privilege you've got. You got no reason to bitch and moan. Yeah, so you were right. This is fucking insane. This is fucking insane to look at. Okay. You know dang well Trump would never say it, of course. Why lying about Marshall? What did I lie about? What did I lie about? Because we pulled this up over and over and over again. Okay, I want the American flag in the background. Looking outside my window, don't see martial law anywhere. No, again, I'll ask you one more time. What did I lie about? There we go. It said on April 20th, martial law would be here. Well, yes, because on April 20th, which is yesterday, Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem filed a report to Donald Trump telling him whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act. Do you know what that report said, Jack? The report that Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem gave Donald Trump yesterday telling him whether or not to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do you know what that report said? Grilled cheese is indeed fire. Whether or not to enact the insurrection. Yes, I'm asking you, do you know whether or not Pete Hegseth, that report, did they say invoke the Insurrection Act, or did they say don't invoke the Insurrection Act? Do you know which one it said in that report? No? Yeah, nobody fucking does. They won't tell us what it said in that report. So for all we know, it could have said yes. They didn't tell us. But the report was still made regardless. Luigi, don't do it. Don't bark. Don't bark. Don't bark. Don't bark. Do not bark. No, just poor timing, Magic. When I say J.D. Vance killed the Pope, I'm joking. He didn't actually kill the fucking Pope, you idiots. Okay. Hello, brethren. Hello, Melantoid. How do you like this one? How do you guys like this one? I think this is a good one. Tell your cats I say pss, 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 pss. Dude, I'm getting really fucking good at making thumbnails, if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. Chris, they have a mobile app too? What, Canva? Okay, so I need a title for this one. And it's going to be Signal Gate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a foo. That's what it's going to say. I feel like that's a really good one. Pete Hegseth. Yeah, so episode 92. Signal Gate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a drunk foo. Signalgate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a drunk foo. Yeah? I'm going to add Pete Hegseth is a drunk foo, and then I'm going to put our government is brain dead. Let's get that uploaded. We're going to lose some frames while I do the upload. Should I call him a foo or should I call him poo? Pete Hegseth is poo? I feel like that'd be funnier. Signalgate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a drunk... Yeah, no, how about just Pete Hegseth is a drunk? I think it hits harder. Signalgate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a drunk. We're doomed. We're cooked. How about that? We're so cooked, chat. Yeah, I think that's it. Signalgate 2, Electric Boogaloo, Pete Hegseth is a drunk. We're so cooked, chat. I feel like that's a perfect title. Pete Hegseth leaked more secret war plans, this time to his wife, brother, and lawyer. My guy, you are so stupid. I cannot even begin to fathom this. I low-key think you use ChatGPT to come up with the war plans because you're dead-ass seeing double when you open up your phone, your group chat. My guy, for real, on God, with love, no disrespect, you should go back to being a mediocre Fox News host. Frankly. And honestly, reading this back, I take back the part where I said no disrespect. Fuck it. Full disrespect, homie. Was that your manifesto? No, it's a fucking description, you silly bitch. Or part of it. That's a long title? No, that was the description. posted. Video published. Ugh. How was this fucking breaking news 15 minutes ago, brother? We all knew this. Come on now. We already knew this. Harvard sues the Trump administration. This is breaking news. This is breaking fucking news. I gotta cover this, right? I gotta cover this? This is from 6 minutes ago. Okay, no, we're covering this right now. There's more? There's more what? We got Harvard. We got University of California. Not ChatGPT, that was not great. There we go. Okay. Two hours ago, AP News. What's 2 hours ago from the AP News? Student loan. What? Who gives a fuck about student loans? You're never going to forgive our student loans, brother. Be so fucking for real with yourself. Okay, this is brand new, so I got to cover this. Oh. Welcome back to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. As you can see with the headline right here, Harvard University sues the Trump administration, taking the fight over federal funding and academic freedom to court. This is as of 6:10 p.m. today. It is currently 6:19 p.m. That's why they call me hot off the press Chris. That's why they call me king of the news Chris. That's why they call me free independent media Chris. And listen, guys, before we dive into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We film these videos live, so if you want to be notified when we do go live, you hit that notification bell. All of that costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. If you do want to help the channel out financially, because this is real independent media and I have no funding, there's a couple of ways that you could do that. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. $5. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some dope-ass Valenti Videos merch down below, and you could use a 40% off discount for the Ground News Vance subscription down below. Thank you for all of my patrons and all of my members and everybody who's donated, and without further ado, let's get the fucking dive right in here. So, listen, we talked about this in our previous video. You probably know all about it, but the Trump administration has frozen federal funding for Harvard University. Most of this funding was used for medical research because, believe it or not, there's no return on investment when it comes to a lot of medical research, specifically cancer research. So it's up to the federal government to provide the funding for it, because no fucking private institution, no sane person who is focused on a profit margin would ever take up something like R&D, research and development, when it comes to cancer treatments and medications, because it's just a money suck and it's for the greater good of society. It's not for temporary profit margins, which is what most of these companies are focused on in the end stage of capitalism that we currently live under. But regardless, Trump froze the federal funding. Harvard University said, go fuck yourself. We're not doing what you want to do, because the Trump administration wants them to create like an anti-Semitism task force that is selected by the Trump administration to audit all of the students and all of the material that they are studying to make sure that their material tracks with the U.S. State Department's I guess their current belief in who is in the right regarding Israel and Palestine. The State Department is on the side of Israel, therefore they don't want anybody to be teaching or holding any sort of students that are pro-Palestine. But this all ties back to that. So then in response, Trump said that that Harvard University is no longer going to get tax cuts tax exemption. Tax exemption. But now we've made it all the way to this. Harvard University sues the Trump administration, taking the fight over federal funding and academic freedom to court. Note, this is not the first time Harvard University has sued the Trump administration, nor is Harvard University the only university that has sued the Trump administration. We've got Harvard University, we've got Brown University, Princeton University, MIT, Caltech, University of Illinois. All of these universities have sued the Trump administration for various different reasons, most of them having to do with the federal funding. Also, the complete attack on freedom of speech that we're seeing in places like Columbia University, okay? So, let's read this, okay? And I know this is CNN, but it's important to read some of this stuff so you can understand what the majority of Americans are consuming. The largest voting bloc in the United States is the elderly, and they are not on TikTok. They are not on social media. Maybe some of them are on fucking Facebook, but they are getting their news from Fox, from CNN, from MSNBC. They're not getting it from your fucking social media people. They're not getting it from me, okay? So let's fucking read. Harvard University sued the Trump administration Monday in a new escalation of the fight over institutional oversight, independence, and federal funding for the Ivy League school. University President Alan M. Garber, in a letter addressed to the Harvard community, said the administration's recent escalations against the prestigious institution, quote, have stark, real-life consequences for patients, students, faculty, staff, researchers, and the standing of American higher education in the world. CNN has reached out to the White House for comment on the lawsuit. The Trump administration is demanding Harvard give it access to all university reports on anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bias on campus generated since October 2023, as it ramps up a confrontation with the school that risks billions in federal money amid a broader push to bring elite U.S. colleges in line with its political ideology. So, listen, we all know that Israel fucking owns the United States government. Donald Trump is a baby back bitch for Benjamin Netanyahu. He cradles his nuts and he sucks on his cock. And it shouldn't surprise you that since October of 2023, I wonder what that has to do with. They want to gather all university reports since October 2023. They literally just want to audit the student body to find out which of these students are pro-Palestine, which teachers are pro-Palestine, if there's any sort of pro-Palestinian presence in this university, and to probably detain them with ICE and deport them to the El Salvadorian extermination camp. But, maybe that's just what their fucking plan is, because the entire Trump regime is riddled with fascists. The government has not and cannot identify any rational connection between anti-Semitism concerns and the medical, scientific, technological, and other research it has frozen that aims to save American lives, foster American success, preserve American security, and maintain America's position as a global leader in innovation, the suit filed Monday says. Garber, who is Jewish, said in his letter that he knows there are valid concerns to the rise of anti-Semitism and that the university has task force groups designated to help address intolerance in our community. So what's it going to be, MAGA? Is this guy an anti-Semite? Is this guy a rabid anti-Jewish, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas terrorist? This guy? What's it going to be? Harvard, who has emerged as a symbol of defiance against the Trump administration across campus and beyond, must turn over all reports generated by school task forces on combating anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bias on campus, including drafts never released to the public. A letter Saturday from the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights to Harvard leadership says. The letter, published by the Free Press, also requests the names of anyone involved in preparing the reports and says they should be made available for interviews by federal officials. You're seeing it right in front of your own very fucking eyes. The Trump administration is demanding that Harvard University lets the Trump regime audit the student body, get a list of names of people within Harvard University, whether they're students or faculty, that have anything to do with pro-Palestinian protests, and provide that list to the federal government so they can prepare for, quote, interviews by federal officials. This just means ICE. That's what this means. This just means ICE. The letter is among the latest twists in the Trump administration's escalating fight with Harvard. It comes as some Jewish organizations and students at Harvard say the White House's recent threats, from pulling research funding to ending its eligibility to host international students, are not making them safer or more welcome, but instead, as some wrote, pawns in a broader political agenda. So we have literally Jewish organizations in Harvard saying this is making things worse. This is not making us feel safer. This isn't my opinion. This is the Jewish organizations at Harvard themselves. You don't need to take my fucking word for it. The Trump administration has said it would freeze more than $2.2 billion in grants and contracts after the Ivy League school refused to submit to demands, including it eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, ban masks at campus protests, enact merit-based hiring and admissions reforms, and reduce the power of faculty and administrators the White House has said are, quote, more committed to activism than scholarship. Dude, listen, let's just talk about this one more time. America is not the one bombing Gaza. Yes, we're arming Israel. Yes, but like, guys, all of this insane effort is for Israel. This has nothing to do with America. Your national security is not at risk. This is the craziest shit ever. Like, I know that, like, we all know Israel fucking controls the United States government, but this is, like, the most blatant shit I've ever fucking seen. Holy fuck. Another one... Oh, and also, I want to talk about this. Banning masks at campus protests. Why do you think they want to do that? The only reason they want to do that is because they want to be using this new facial recognition technology for footage of these protests so that they can find out who are anti-American protesters so they can fucking round them up. And I've told you guys this multiple times before all these big protests. I always tell you guys, leave your phones behind. Wear a shiesty or a balaclava. Cover your fucking eyes with Oakleys. Do not let these people see your face because they will use it against you. I know you have the right to protest right now. I know you do. But right now, you have that right. And anything you fucking do right now can and will be used against you if the laws fucking change. And the people who are labeling anti-American, communist, Marxist, Leninist, radical terrorist, radical leftist sympathizers, like, they will use that against you. And now they're trying to make it illegal to even fucking cover your face. It's ridiculous. Another $1 billion in federal health research contracts to Harvard could also be withheld. In federal health research. Health research! So this is, dude, the Trump administration is just punishing the entirety of humanity because there were anti-Israeli protests. Because health research, dude, if America does well in health research, then the rest of the world does. Innovation spreads, you know? You find out a new vaccine, it spreads. That's the way things work. This is insane. Holy shit. Could also be withheld. The Wall Street Journal reported over the weekend as the Internal Revenue Service is making plans to rescind the tax-exempt status of the university, and the administration has threatened Harvard's ability to enroll foreign students. Other universities, including Princeton, Cornell, and Northwestern University, also have seen federal funding paused and similar demands. So the attack on education was, before Trump was the president, it was verbal. Like, we knew that, the conservatives and the MAGA chuds, they don't like education. Education, more like indoctrination. These liberal colleges are turning people into Marxist-Leninists. And the whole reason why they do that is because, as we know, Republican voters are uneducated. This is not my opinion. This is statistics. Facts don't care about your feelings. Snowflake, don't get triggered. Stop typing. By and large, Republican voters are less educated than Democrat voters. And because of that, Republicans have been trained to believe that education in and of itself is a bad thing, which is a genius play by the Republican leadership to keep the people fucking stupid. You convince them that being smart is actually stupid. Genius play. It will only work on somebody extremely fucking dumb, but it worked. And there's about 77 million Americans who are extremely fucking dumb. That's just the way of the world. But the attack on education is here now. It's no longer verbal. It has arrived. We're seeing the Trump regime threaten federal funding for research and development for, like, cancer research because they won't get rid of DEI. That's the point that we are at now, where Donald Trump is holding the American people fucking hostage so that his own belief system can be enacted into private institutions. But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you're here live, you stay. We're going to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded, thank you for tuning into the Valenti VOD. Make sure you check out that video right over there. I promise you it's a fucking banger. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That's a banger. Fearmonger? What am I fearmongering about? SN95 King. What am I fear-mongering about? Yeah, Chris, I just a fear-mongering communist. Again, Jack, at this point, I know you're trolling. We've gone over this a million times. I know you're a good troll. You're a very good troll, but I know you're a troll. I'm so tired, Chris. This shit is dumb. Oh, yeah, you're telling me. You're telling me. Do MAGA people know what Marxism or Leninism is? No. You deny, but you secretly are, bro? Hey, Jack, I appreciate your dedication to... You're a really good troll, dude. You're very dedicated. You show up every single stream. You play the character really well. It's very good. Yeah, we talked about Pope Francis. Is the martial law in the room with us, or how when you said you'd let your Nana die, then admit being wrong about the 20th? What? And also, my grandmother's been dead for fucking years. Well, I never said anything about my grandmother. What? What are you even fucking talking about? Got screenshots? Post them, please. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. We have clips. Go ahead, post them. Tag me in them. Fucking send them to Reuters. Go ahead. Hey, Chris, you inspired me to start posting more and more to use my voice against a terrible time in history. Much love to you. Thank you, Titties Nubber. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you, everybody's got a voice, and it's important to use it, especially in a day and age where everybody's got access to a fucking phone with a camera in it and the internet, and you can just post it online. You might as well get your fucking voice out there. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see what other breaking news we've got. Got to hit the flavored air. Yeah, no, do not vape. Do not do this. I do this because I'm violently addicted to nicotine. I used to smoke like 2 packs of Parliaments a day. I used these to quit smoking cigarettes, but now I'm at the point where I'm just as addicted to these as I was cigarettes. That is something that I will never say is a good thing. This is terrible for me. and I should not be doing it. Never in a million years would I advocate somebody else vapes. It's terrible for you. But God, I need it. L vape, absolutely valid. You should be giving me L's for vaping. Yeah, Malenti calls it my binky. Just don't smoke, Snowflake. Brother, you do know how many people smoke. Like, you do know that that's not like a liberal thing. Dude, 30 million people in the U.S. smoke. And then another 7 million of them vape. So that's almost 40 million people. Plus the 61 million people who smoke weed. So there's about 100 million. So about a third of the nation smokes. About a third of the nation smokes, brother. That's why you hate Trump. He says no smoking and drinking. When has Trump ever said no smoking and drinking? What are you talking about, dude? If Trump said that, there would be a fucking insurrection. Banning cigarettes and alcohol? Are you out of your fucking mind? Trump smokes and drinks? No, he does not. But he does take Sudafed. That's also legal. On the podcast with Theo Vaughn. What are you talking about? Him saying that he doesn't believe in smoking and drinking? That he doesn't like to do it? Yes, he said that, but you're making it seem like he's trying to ban smoking and drinking. Trump's brother died to alcoholism. Is actually really strict with it to his cabinet. Yes. No, he's not strict with it with his cabinet members whatsoever, Wolfjack. That's absolutely bullshit. One of his top cabinet members, Pete Hegseth, is a rampant alcoholic, and he drinks all the fucking time. That's not true at all. But yeah, no. So smoking and drinking has nothing to do with politics, bro. Pete is sober now? That's not true. I realized that was a lie halfway in. My bad. Yeah, Pete's probably drunk right now, dog. All right, let's get that video uploaded and make a thumbnail. And then I'm going to hop off. I got to make some dinner. I got a bunch of shit to do. Okay, so I want Harvard University in the background. And you've been served. You're probably drunk at 9 a.m. No, I actually don't drink unless it's a holiday. There's plenty of things to shit on me for. That's not going to be one of them that will actually be effective, bro. I really don't like to be drunk. I really don't like to be hungover. Did you drink yesterday? No. Okay, so I want Harvard. Fucking, you copyrighted a picture of Harvard, you fucking piece of shit? Why? Episode 93. Kamala was drunk after the election. You vote for that women. I think you meant voted for that woman. But yes, I did vote for Kamala Harris. And she was drunk. I don't know. She probably was drunk after the election. You're right. She probably was. But yeah, I got no problem with people drinking. That's just me. What up, homie? How you doing, Steel Justice? Welcome, brother. This motherfucker a Mormon? I don't know what it... Dude, I told you, Jack is a troll. He doesn't actually have a belief system. He just says whatever will get a reaction. That's what he does, and he's very good at it. I do give him credit. Hi, Beans. Why not just ban Jack then? Because he's, you know, it's fun to have like a lol cow in the chat. He's the lol cow. How about Trump? I'm gonna need a Trump here. We dig it? You guys dig it? You dig it? All right. Get the Harvard sweater in there. What do you mean, dude? Harvard people always wear their bullshit ass sweater. Well, that's fucking true. I'll tell you that much. You dig? No. Could remove the sleeves entirely. You dig? There we go. That'll do, right? Is that good? You like that? You like that? I like it. Thumbnail. All right, we need a title, which is just going to be simple. Harvard sues Trump. Harvard University. Let's see. So episode 93. Harvard University sues the Trump regime the attack on education has begun. The Trump regime has demanded Harvard University has demanded that Harvard University audits the entire student body and provides the federal government with a list of names of pro-Palestinian supporters on campus, most likely for ICE to round up and then Ship off to the extermination camp in El Salvador. There we go. Get that up. Playlist. The Valenti VOD. No, there is no AI in this. Crazy that you have to ask that every single time. The world we live in. Add an end screen. Save. Checks. Confirmed. Public. Publish. All right, that's up. Breaking news! The Pope is dead! Yeah, we fucking know, New York Times. How are you this late? How are you this fucking late? Oh. Yeah, the Pope literally died of cringe. The Pope met J.D. Vance and was like, okay, Lord, take me. Like, he was like, I'm done here. I'll call it quits now. It's not a regime. You don't know what a regime is? What's a regime, Jack? Tell me what a regime is, Jack. Totalitarian government. Here it is. A government, especially an authoritarian one. Donald Trump is an authoritarian. That makes his entire administration a regime. And I will continue to call it a regime. Take me to the king. Take me to the king. That's literally what the Pope said as soon as he was done meeting J.D. Vance. Take me to the king. Take me to the king. So did Lincoln have a regime? No, Lincoln had an administration. Are you saying that Abraham Lincoln was an authoritarian? Are you saying that Abraham Lincoln was an authoritarian? Yeah, as everyone knows, Google gives the best definition ever. Yeah, brother. It's not like they fucking use actual sources of it. Would you like me to go to the Oxford Dictionary for you? Over the South, 100%. The South was a different nation, guys. The Confederacy of the United States was a different nation. He was not an authoritarian leader of the Confederacy of the United States because he was not the leader of the Confederacy. That's not an authoritarian. He wasn't their leader. You have to fucking sign up to use the Oxford Dictionary? Are you serious? Dude, look at this. Are you serious? Look at this. It says there's 6 meanings for it. See meaning and use. What the fuck? Bro, and somehow Jack is going to be okay with that. Hey, Jack, is this cool? The paywall behind the fucking Oxford Dictionary? Is this cool? Guys, Abraham Lincoln was not a dictator. Abraham Lincoln was not a dictator, guys. Collins Dictionary. Is that free? Here. If you refer to a government or system of running a country as a regime, you are critical of it because you think it is not democratic and uses unacceptable methods. A regime is the way that something such as an institution, company, or economy is run, especially when it involves tough or severe action. There. There's your definition. Jack said, I think a paywall is fine. I'm not a brokey. See, I do. Guys, I'm telling you, there's a reason why I predicted that he would. This guy is like spoon-fed American capitalist propaganda. Why ain't there anything bad to say about Lincoln? I can't think of anything bad to say about Lincoln. Can you? Can somebody tell me something bad about Lincoln? Just get rich ain't hard, bro. There's millions of ways to make money. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Just get rich. That'll fix every... Yeah. You know what? I didn't think of that. I did not think of that. Just get rich. He didn't free the slaves faster? Yeah, I guess. Oh, wait, you're a socialist, so you're all brokies that want handouts. Hell yeah, brother. You know it. Brokey socialists give me handout. Because, you know, socialism is when poor. And socialism is when give me. Gimme. Lincoln was actually still racist. He just didn't think slavery was good for the country. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln was fucking racist. I mean, I'm frankly certain everybody was racist. But to your point, there's different varying degrees of racism. And he clearly wasn't racist enough into believing that they weren't people. Because the whole argument for chattel slavery is that Africans are not human beings. That's the argument for chattel slavery. That's why they used, what is it called? Phrenology, the studying of the skull. They were like trying to prove to themselves that these are not humans and they are more prone to subservient, like all this shit. Like white slavers came up with so many excuses to convince themselves that Africans weren't human beings. And clearly, Abraham Lincoln wasn't racist enough to believe that. Those people were Democrats, by the way? Yes, you're right. There was a giant party switch over the course of 100 years. Most of the voters in the South used to be Democrat, and most of the voters in the North used to be Republican. Lincoln, famously, was a Republican, and he was a leader of the northern states. So, yes, you're right. Pretty sure Lincoln was gay, too. There's like a whole bunch of rumors that he had a secret lover. Yeah, he had like rumored sexual relationships with a man named Joshua Speed. What the fuck? You guys didn't know this? This was like written about in his private journal. I think you type your name in by accident. Very clever of you, Jack, but no. I know you're gonna say that's an AI overview, but I've heard this shit for fucking decades. I remember learning about this in high school. He had an alleged sexual relationship with a man named Joshua Speed. But granted, what am I going to do? Ask him? Valetti, most people didn't pay attention to this stuff in school like we did. That's fair. Why is this a topic right now? Because it's fucking funny. What's he look like? I don't know. There's no shot they have a picture of Joshua Speed. They got a picture of Joshua Fry Speed. They got a picture of Joshua Speed. They've got it. Abraham Lincoln shared bed. Can you get off my screen? Shared a bed with a man for 4 years, fell into a suicidal depression when he left, documentary says. I'm the most miserable man alive, the future president wrote after his friend Joshua Speed moved away. I'm the most miserable man alive. Yeah, it must have just been friends. They were just friends. This is like Achilles and Patroclus. They were just friends. They're just friends. Was your prediction right? We don't know. We have no idea, Luke. Because the information within that joint report that was submitted to the president, we're not privy to that information. He very well could have said, you should invoke the Insurrection Act, and we will not know. They were roommates. And they were roommates. It wasn't. No, Luke, you don't know that. Can you please provide me with a link to tell me where that joint report is so I can read it and see if you're correct? Where should I find this joint report that was submitted yesterday that told Donald Trump whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act? They said no in the report? Really? Could you please tell me where to find that report? I'd love to see. Because I've searched extensively for that. Because as of this, I mean, there's no update here. What is the Insurrection Act? What to know as the deadline hits? Because I know that you guys, like hate watchers, you think that this is a conspiracy theory. No, you just don't read. And yes, yesterday was, in fact, the deadline for the joint report to be submitted to President Trump on whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act. We have not been updated on whether or not that report told him to invoke the act. You said Trump will enact the Insurrection Act on April 20th? Yes, and he did not. He did not. But we still don't know whether he's going to do it or not. Do you understand what this report is? The report is telling Trump whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act. We don't know what was in that report. The report was given to him yesterday. For all we know, it could have said, you should invoke the Insurrection Act. And he could declare it today, tomorrow, the next day, etc. But again, you don't read. This is available information. Even Fox News covered this. In March, dude. Bro, Fox News covered this shit in March. You simply do not read. This is not the fault of me. This is the fault of your lack of education. So you're backpedaling? No. No, he didn't invoke the Insurrection Act. I'm very grateful that he didn't. We've made it one day since April 20th where he hasn't invoked the Insurrection Act. Let me ask you very, very simply, Luke, do you wish that you got to see that report? Because I wish I got to see that. I want to know whether or not Donald Trump has been told to invoke the Insurrection Act. Would you like to know? Of fucking course you would like to know. Okay. So listen, Luke, we've gone through this with many MAGA hate watchers. You guys come in here frequently. This is not a conspiracy theory. Donald Trump wrote this on whitehouse.gov that yesterday is either a 50-50. Either Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth tell him you should invoke the Insurrection Act, or they don't. The only difference is that you believed that you had faith in Donald Trump and I didn't. That's the problem you have with me? Is that your problem? Yeah, for all we know, the motherfucker is a fan. He's probably been watching my videos and said, we're going to put it off till next week. I don't want Chris Valenti to be right. You know, Trump is probably a fucking hate watcher. You know, sitting on the toilet, gold toilet, fucking watching my videos. Who knows? I'm not MAGA. I'm anti-fearmongerers. Okay, so Luke, in order for me to be a fearmonger, it would have to be based on nothing, right? Like, you do know. Do you want me to bring up the whitehouse.gov? Do you not know what I'm talking about? Do you not know what we're talking about right now? I think you're very, very confused, bro. Oh, jeez. Where free thinkers, Chris, unlike your cult? Brother, you have the worst grammar. I can't even fucking believe it. I do know what you've been talking about. So then you know this, Luke, that on whitehouse.gov, Trump signed a presidential order, and in Section 6B, it says, within 90 days of the date of this proclamation, Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem shall submit a joint report to the president about whether he should invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. So you understand that yesterday that report was given, right? You understand that. That's not like a point of contention. This is just simply irrefutable fact. Well, he didn't do it on April 20th, so he's not going to do it. Okay, Jack, I know you have a hard time reading, but this says that they shall submit a joint report within 90 days. It doesn't mean that Trump had to invoke it yesterday. It means they gave him the report within 90 days. Do you need me to read that real slow for you, or do you understand what that means? Do you not understand what that means? Yes, but you're explicitly leaving things out. What are you talking about? What am I leaving out, Luke? What am I leaving out? Are you talking about this entire fucking thing? Because I've read this entire fucking thing, and none of it has anything to do with the Insurrection Act. But this does. This is the only place where it's fucking mentioned. He could have done it by now. He would have had more military power. He ain't going to do it. So you understand that this report had to be submitted yesterday and that he very well could invoke it at any point because we are not privy to the information in that report. This is embarrassing, dude. This is wildly embarrassing that you don't understand what you can read right in front of your very face. Just read. Just fucking read. Learn to read. Read, bro. Read. Just read. Holy fuck. Jeez. I'm typing in English so I can clearly read. Okay, so then you were capable of reading what we just saw, and you understand why yesterday was so important. Because Donald Trump might have received an order to invoke the Insurrection Act, and we don't know whether or not he got that fucking order. Don't you understand that? If you can read, you just read it. It was just in front of your fucking eyes. So if you can read, are you guys just stupid? Or are you purposefully ignorant? Unbelievable. Oh, I'm going to end the stream soon, guys. I'll give you a couple minutes, and then I'm out of here. 2.5 hour stream. I'll handle that. That's good. You're going to start writing a Chris Jack fanfic. You should. That'd be hot, bro. That'd be hot. A lot of people have forgotten comprehension. Yeah. Well, don't forget, this is the fault of the American education system. Most of these people, it's not their fucking fault. This is all purposeful. Don't do that. I don't give that permission. I don't give a fuck. Do it. You got permission. Make sure he gives me a lot of head in the fanfic. I want a lot of head. All right, guys, you got 60 seconds. Then I'm ending the stream. How you doing, Lost in Translation? You're rolling in at the very bitter end of the stream. We've only got about 60 seconds left in the stream, brother. Liberals are just sad. It used to be FDR and now this. So you admit that FDR was a... What? No, he wasn't a liberal. He was more of a democratic socialist. But you admit that FDR was a good president? Oh, God, look what you've done. Look what you've done. Tell me your PR? On what? Jack said, yeah, FDR was a good president. Oh, so Jack understands that democratic socialist policies are actually good for the United States. We have converted Jack, ladies and gentlemen. Took a long time. My 1-rep PR on a bench. I don't know what my 1-rep PR is. I don't do 1-reppers, but I do 4 sets of 12 at 185, so probably like, I don't know, 250, I bet I could pump out 1 rep. He wasn't a commie. No, FDR was not a communist. But I hope you understand that the way that FDR fixed the economy was by raising the taxes on the 1% to like fucking 70%. He made the billionaires pay all the taxes, and then he used government money to fund jobs like the New Deal coalition to hire millions of Americans. So I'm glad you're admitting that socialist policies are good for America. Can you make a dedicated video to your routine? I could. 30 pounds trying to get the 45s. Oh, you're talking dumbbells. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't do dumbbell press usually. Yeah, guys, before you go, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It helps me out a lot. I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you for tuning in. To all my fans, I love you. To all my haters, I love you even more. You guys really do give me emotional satisfaction. But thank you. Have a good one. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.